Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope that all of you have had an awesome week so far. In this class, students, we are looking at IELTS speaking section. Specifically, we're looking at speaking part 1 on the topic of making food. This lesson, as usual, is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Visit us there for the general IELTS. Check us out at gieltshelp.com. These are the websites that power these live classes. They contain all of our materials, our practice exams, and much, much more. We will be using the websites today to speak to students. This is our academic IELTS website here with the blue background, aehelp.com. Click this big red button above my head to join the premium version of our course. We're an IDP affiliate, a British Council partner, and an IELTS test registration center. I'm a certified British Council agent. And our general IELTS website looks like this. On the websites, when you join, use the discount code VISIT9 for an extra 10% discount coming from this lesson. It is a one-time payment. You get lifetime access, and we'll use this site a little bit later on to talk to students. Hi Azim, welcome Ariadna, Nimarjot, V, nice to have all of you here. Izat, Sap, Vishali, Nikhil, Anna, good to see our members coming into the class as well. Those of you who have premium access on the websites, you get Zoom classes each week. We had a great Zoom class yesterday, and I send those Zoom links out usually on Friday. If you'd like to check out those classes, they are on YouTube. You can see them with this link in the chat. The apps, students, are Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help from your app stores. Instagram for schedules, vocabulary, reels, IELTS_AE Help, GIELTS Help. And if you want to buy our course right here through YouTube, you can do that too through Shopify. It's simple and easy. Go to shopping, go for the course, and grab it there. If you have questions about the IELTS, about English, send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com or admin@aehelp.com. Also, if you are into editing videos and you know how to use video editing software a little bit, you don't need to be a pro, you can send me your resume or your CV. We are always looking for video editors to join our editing team or arm of our company. All right, everybody. So right now, speaking, this is the chat is open to everyone. Then tomorrow, a little bit earlier, we'll do task 2 writing for those of you who are YouTube channel members. And then after that, at the same time as this class, roughly, we'll do a reading class with everybody where you get to read, answer some questions. And then on Saturday, we'll do more speaking. We'll do speaking part 2, speaking part 3. And on Tuesday, the 16th, we will do another premium Zoom class, okay? The way that you know where these classes are, we use YouTube, our website, and Zoom, and the way that you know where they are is just these little icons. So these are the YouTube classes, obviously. When you see our logo, it means that the live class is on the website, and when you see the Zoom logo, it's on Zoom. Makes sense. All right. Students, we do have a speaking video for you that's up on YouTube. You can check that out at some point. We'll be releasing another video within the week for you, so always check that out. Subscribe to the channel. It's free. It's good to do before you do your IELTS test for sure. Just a tip or two could really save you a lot of headache. All right, let's get into IELTS speaking. Everybody, the IELTS speaking section is one of the parts of the IELTS that makes, excuse me, that makes IELTS great, in my personal opinion. So if you have done English tests before, for example, TOEFL, speaking as a computer recording. I don't think that's a very good way to measure speaking ability. In a perfect world, I think the speaking test would be an hour long, and you would have a lot of time to sit there and talk to the examiner. But they can't do that because then the test would be so expensive, and it would be extremely difficult to administer. So the next best step is to do a 12 to 15 minute structured interview with 3 parts. Part 1, introductions and questions on a general topic, on a kind of an everyday conversational topic. Okay, so that's what IELTS speaking part 1 is. Then there's part 2, where you give a little presentation, like a little 2-minute presentation. And then there's part 3, that's discussion on a more specific topic related to part 2. A lot of very smart people thought long and hard about what is the best format, best structure to measure a person speaking within 12 to 15 minutes. And that's what they came up with. So I won't argue. I'm sure they're clever enough to figure that out. I did psychology in school, so it's kind of what I was learning. Psychometrics, measuring human thinking. No easy science, I will tell you that. So speak and repeat, students. Copy what I say, copy how I say it. You can take notes, write down vocabulary. I highly encourage it. Most importantly, definitely copy what I say and copy how I say it. Okay. Ugul Han says, Happy Eastern time, Adrian. Hi, Ugul Han. All right. Chirito Rizoles is saying, I'm taking the general module. The listening and the speaking are the same, okay, for academic in general. Listening, speaking, task 2 writing, section 3 reading are basically the same. The task 1 writing, section 1 and 2 reading are different. Okay, so that's what you have to pay attention to, and it is important to know what module you need to take. Speaking is the same. Okay, Chirito. So if you're here for the general or the academic, you're good. Okay, you're good. There you go. There's another good question coming up here. Izat is asking this question, and questions are welcome, everybody. We'll get into the speaking here. So Izat is asking, isn't it going to hurt my score if I speak at a slower pace? The best answer for you're going to be surprised at my answer. You won't guess my answer for this one. So Izat, this is my answer here. It won't hurt your score as much as if you speak fast with lots of mistakes and poor content. Okay, so it's a balance. Find the balance between speed and accuracy. Okay, so if you're trying to talk really fast and you're like, I will be on Moon yesterday, was a nice, and it was so fun because people enjoy going theaters and it's amazing. I'll be like, wow, that person's really fluent, but I have no idea what they just said. That's a band 4. Okay, so balance. And if you ask me, if you have to, then give more attention to accuracy than speed. Okay. Does that make sense? All right. Okay, so students, you're getting ready for your IELTS speaking interview. You show up nice and early. You warm yourself up. You're speaking English. You're switching your mind into English. And then you get called in for your interview. You register 20 minutes before. And you go to a room with the examiner, usually still face-to-face. And then the examiner welcomes you and introduces the speaking section of the IELTS exam. They say, welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. We are conducting this exam in Victoria, Canada at Exam Center 79YQ3. This is candidate number 44389-73162. An examiner 99213. Let's begin. May I see your identification? This is the first question. It's a professional question. You're talking to an examiner, not your buddy. Your buddy, you could say, yeah, sure. Examiner, don't say that. It's not professional. Yes, of course. Here's my passport I had used to register. Please take a look. Okay, simple, to the point. Practice different professional ways to say this so that you come across as a person who cares, as a person who got ready, which I think most of you are because you're here learning with me, which is good. Okay. So again, focus everybody. We'll have lots of time for questions after. It's time to warm up your speaking. Okay, repeat after me. Repeat questions and answers. May I see your identification? Yes, of course. Here's my passport I had used to register. Please take a look. Good. And I see some nice variations in the chat. Ugulhan says, yes, certainly. Here's my passport that I have used for this exam. Please take a look at my credentials. Dear Beck says, yes, gladly. Here's my passport that I used for registration. Please have a look at my credentials. Okay. Movies and Music says this. No, it's private. I don't give you the permission to do so. The examiner will say, no problem. That concludes the speaking. Please leave the room. Okay, and then you get, here's a, okay, fun fact, Movies and Music. What band score does Movies and Music get? What do you think? And it's kind of it's a good one. I think Movies and Music thought this would be funny, and it is a little bit funny. I give you that, Movies, Music. But there is an interesting fact that you'll learn here about it. Okay. So Ferdov says 0.5. Not a bad guess. Not a bad guess, Ferdov's. So band score. Yeah, it'd be about it'd be 0.5 to 1. Okay. The only way to get 0 is if you don't show up. If you show up and you don't say a single word in English, I think you might still get 0, but I'm not sure about that one. I'd have to check. Okay, so good news, everybody. If you showed up like Movies and Music and you said, no, it's private, you got a 0.5. Okay. All right. So, okay. So the next question, while you have your passport there, okay, is what is your full name? And again, this is a professional situation, and yes, you can use casual English later or within part 1, 2, and 3, but definitely start professional. Okay, everybody? So what is your full name in a professional way? So tip. always start the IELTS exam with professional English. And by that I mean the introductions. Okay? Okay, so what is your full name? My given name is Thomas, and my family name is Johansson. Please call me Tom for short. Okay, so again, just quick repetition here. What is your full name? My given name is Thomas, and my family name is Johansson. Please call me Tom for short. Okay, good. Phyllis Moses says, my given name is Phyllis and my family name is Moses. Please call me Phyllis. Yeah, Anahita, very good. Yes, according to the IELTS marking criteria, you get a 1 potentially because of you showed up. Yeah, you get 1 right away. Okay. Yeah, Meet Patel, you can say that. So Meet Patel saying, can we say our full name? Yes, you can, even if it's a long name. So Meet Patel, you could just say, my whole name is Meet Patel. As you can see in my passport. Please call me Meet. Okay? Now, remember, students, that in some cultures, the first names or the given names come first, and in other cultures, the family names come first. And it's often in some Western cultures where your given name is first. Okay, so here in Canada, my name is Adrian Benedek. It's not Benedek Adrian, right? In other cultures, it would be reversed. So that's why it's good to tell the examiner first and last, or given and family name, because it makes it a little bit clearer and easier to communicate. Okay, so it's good to say my surname and my family name or given name are. Okay. Okay, and then the examiner will ask you where you live, for instance. So they'll ask you a couple of questions for getting to know you. Don't try to predict these. Just make sure you practice a lot of introductory questions. This one is a very common one. So the examiner will say, now I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better. Where do you live? So I live in a 4-bedroom house just on the outskirts of Victoria in a nice suburban area. Victoria is the capital city of the province of British Columbia in Western Canada. Okay, so that would be a nice, again, full sentence, detailed answer. Right away from the beginning, students, you're looking for structured, complete language. Okay, that's what the examiner is really looking for. Like, really, like, they're like, are these answers complete? Are they on topic? Are they structured? Complete, structured answers that have explanations and examples. Okay, that's what they're looking for, right? Amazing Uz says, I live in Samarkand, one of the best historical cities, which is located south side of Uzbekistan. Amazing. Let's do it this way. I live in Samarkand, a historical city located in southern Uzbekistan. So students, when the examiners are thinking about your band score, they think about it like this. So what they think about is the kind of this Venn diagram. You probably saw this in math. So what they're looking for is they're thinking, okay, is it natural? Okay, is it complex? Like, are you using very simple English, or are you using some complex forms of English? And then, is it coherent? Okay, and then you get your score in the middle here. Okay, so that's where they all kind of cross over. So they kind of have overlaps here and here. So natural language is often coherent, not always. Coherent language is often complex. Complex language is this. So they're interconnected here in the middle, and that's where you get your score. Okay, does that make sense? So with your original answer here, Amazing Ooze. Okay, so if we have Amazing Ooze's original answer here, I live in Samarkand, one of the best historical city, which is located south side of Uzbekistan. It looks like this on this diagram. So the natural score would be about a 5. Why? Because one of the best historical city, this would have to be cities. Okay, for instance, so it's awkward, it doesn't sound natural, which is located south side of Uzbekistan. We don't say south side of a country, it's southern Uzbekistan is the correct English. So this is not too natural. For a band 6, it has to be almost accurate to correct English. Okay, all right, so it would be about a band 5 there, Amazing Ooze, for its naturality. Okay, so how natural it is. All right, for complexity, so how complex it is, it would be about a band 5-ish. Okay, I live in Samarkand, which is one of the best historical city, and then you put a period there. It's a simple sentence, which is located on the south side of Uzbekistan. It's another simple sentence. If you actually combine these, it would kind of be closer to a 6. Okay, and then coherent here would actually be a 7. Okay, because I understand you. It makes sense. It makes good sense to me. You know what? I might drop it to a 6 just because I don't know if you live in a house or in an apartment. So you didn't give me enough detail. But a 6 to 7 for the coherence. So here, your score based on this Venn diagram of natural, complex, coherent would be like a 5.5 for this one sentence. Okay, that would be your score in the middle. Okay, does that make sense, everybody? So do you see how the examiner is kind of thinking about your speaking ability? Okay, so if Amazing Ooze said this sentence to me relatively fluently, it doesn't have to be fast, but kind of, you know, said it relatively fluently, I'd be like, okay, that's about a band 5, 5.5 speaking based on natural, complex, coherent language. Okay, the examiner has a lot to pay attention to within fluency, grammatical range, grammatical accuracy, lexical resource, and pronunciation. But that's basically how they're looking at it. Okay? Ali, if that wasn't clear, definitely review the video. Okay? For this part, it's a very important one. Okay? All right, we'll take a look with this Venn diagram at more answers as we go along, but that's just to kind of plant the seed. So Ali, we'll talk about this a little bit more as you answer some more questions, okay? All right, so here is the next question. What do you like about your home? So give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. I enjoy that my home is spacious. It has a large backyard where I can play with my children, and there are many windows, so it is nice and bright inside. Okay, so that would be, and you don't have to speak too much, it just has to be accurate, and it has to be somewhat complex and on topic. Okay. All right, so again, repeat after me. What do you like about your home? I enjoy that my home is spacious. It has a large backyard where I can play with my children, and there are many windows, so it is nice and bright inside. I would say, and the house has many windows. Again, it's more coherent. Okay. Emma Lama says, what if I don't have a spacious home? Let's help out Emma. So Emma says has this question. What if I don't have a spacious home? What do you think? A lot of English speakers will say this when they don't have a spacious home. You don't even have to make it up, Izat. You can actually give an answer. A lot of English speakers, if they have a smaller house, would likely say, I like that my home is nice and, yes, exactly. Kievash, very good. Kievash says it's cozy and warm. Yeah, when we have a smaller house, we say it's cozy. I like that my home is nice and cozy. It's not too big, but that also means I don't need to do a lot of cleaning, and I can focus more on my social life. I have friends visit almost every evening, and we have good, intimate discussions over a hot cup of tea. Okay, so that would be your band 9 answer, Emma, if you have a not so spacious home, which can still be quite amazing nonetheless, right? So a very important tip here, Emma, is that you should always go into your IELTS exam with positive thoughts. That's a big one, okay? That's a big one, everybody. So always go into your IELTS exam with positive thoughts, okay? Turn that frown upside down. All right. So always think positively for your IELTS exam. Okay. All right. Good. So at this point, the examiner will introduce part 1. And in part 1, the examiner will say something like, let's talk about making food. How often do you make a sandwich? Okay, nice full sentence answer for this one. Since I do not frequently eat bread these days, I rarely make a sandwich. I would say about once a week. When I'm in a rush and I'm hungry, I make a cheese and lettuce sandwich to hold me over until I can eat a warm meal. There you go. Nice, complex, natural language, okay? So since I do not frequently eat bread these days, this is your dependent clause. That's why we have the comma here in the writing, okay? This is already a complex sentence. So since, again, repeat, students, since I do not frequently eat bread these days, I rarely make a sandwich. That is the independent clause. Okay, and I can actually end that here with a period. I would say about once a week. Now, the reason I have a comma here is because that part is the definitive clause. Okay, so repeat after me. Since I do not frequently eat bread these days, I rarely make a sandwich. I would say about once a week. Okay, so that is a subordinate conjunction of time. Since I do not frequently eat bread these days. It's a subordinate conjunction of time and opposition. Okay, now here, when I'm in a rush, this is a condition. It's a real condition because I'm using the word when. So when I'm in a rush and I'm hungry, I make a cheese and lettuce sandwich to hold me over until I can eat a warm meal. To hold me over is an idiomatic expression. It means to keep me satisfied. Okay, make sure you're taking note of these. So here I have a clear answer and an explanation with coherent, natural, and complex language. This is what you need to get those higher band scores. All right, V has this answer for us. I make a sandwich once in a while, always with 2 slices of bread, 1 or 2 eggs, and a teaspoon of peanut butter. Last week I prepared one for myself as I was hungry, as I was in a hurry in the morning. So this V, if I look at the Venn diagram, okay, I would say that for natural language, it's a band 9. For complex language, it could be a band 9. It's nice and complex with lots of detail. And for coherent language, I would say a band 8. Okay. Why? So why is coherence a band 8? So I would give this a band 8 to 9, maybe an 8.5 overall, coming in the combination of these. Why is it a little bit less for coherence? Anybody? Can anybody tell me why V maybe is losing a band score or a mark in the coherence aspect of this? Exactly. So it's not my answer, it's your classmate's answer too. Fari Bars says, what is once in a while, right? So students, really pay attention to that quantitative language. Once in a while, like twice a week. Okay, so just that last little bit there is what's needed to push that 8 to a 9. Okay, so see V, how a lot of your classmates are trying to figure out what once in a while means. Once in a while means kind of like seldom or rarely, just like I said. See, that's the difference. Here I said about once a week for me. Okay, So for those perfect band score 9s for the coherence, you really need to be super coherent. It means you have to make perfect sense, right? It's expert communication. Experts use numbers. Okay, remember that, everybody. Experts use numbers. The rest of it's good. Kievash, there's nothing wrong with the example. Okay, so keep that in mind, everybody, that tip here. Experts use numbers. All right. Okay, so the examiner, with the same spirit, keeps going. And the questions get more and more difficult. Just repeat after me the questions. What do you use to make food? Okay. Now here, just some vocabulary. You use ingredients. Okay. You use appliances. You use utensils. You use power, gas or electricity. Okay, to make food. And so keep that in mind as you formulate your answers. Okay. Do you like to cook? Do you like to bake? Give reasons and explanations. What is your favorite ingredient? Give an explanation. And then you get into some more complex grammatical questions. Like this one here. Have you learned to make any special dishes? How should you start this sentence? Okay. Have you learned to make any special dishes? How should you start that answer, everybody? In most cases. V, very good. V has the perfect answer. Good job, V. Get a thumbs up. In the chat, you will see my actual thumb. There you go. Okay. So V says, yes, I have. Why is that so important, everybody? Why is this answer that V has here so important? Okay, it's definitely the right way to answer that question, starting. Okay, why? That's right, Alexander, to show the perfect tense. Here's a question. Why is the examiner using present perfect? Okay, so why does the examiner ask you in present perfect, have you learned to make any special dishes? Okay, it's important to understand the perfect grammar to really understand English. Those speakers who do not truly understand present perfect are not yet advanced level in English. Okay. All right. It's a combination of experience and achievement. Okay. So the present perfect is used for several important reasons. Two of those are to show experience and achievement. So when we learn to make a special dish, like somebody learns to make a unique kebab or a unique stroganoff or some really delicious sashimi or sushi, right? then they've achieved that skill. They've reached that goal. And when you reach a goal, then that is yours forever. Dare we say. So you have that experience, you've gained that experience and that achievement that started in the past, into the present, and into the future. And we emphasize that with the present perfect. And so the examiner is emphasizing it, and you need to show that, right? So V starts with, yes, I have. He's basically saying, indeed, I learned a special dish. I have this experience and this achievement, and I'm about to tell you this. Okay, so the yes I have, those three simple words give me all of that information from V. That yes, I have this experience, I have this achievement, and I will now tell you what this is. Okay. Phyllis says Italian pasta, so like an Alfredo fettuccine, a Milano spaghetti. Phyllis, the Italians have lots of pasta dishes. You have to focus your answer on what type of Italian pasta. An Italian would kind of laugh if you said to them, I can make Italian pasta. They'd be like, okay. What kind? Ravioli? Fettuccine? Spaghetti? Right? So be specific, students. Be specific. All right, so let's continue with the answers here. Anahita has this for us. Ufuk, welcome to our group of YouTube channel members. That's awesome. Make sure that you join the members chat task 2 class tomorrow, Ufuk. That's a little bit earlier. Okay. So Anahita, our member, has this answer for us. Yes, I have. I have acquired the skill to cook ashak, a vegetarian Afghani traditional dish, because I needed to learn its cooking method and to prepare them for my guests last year. Okay, so I'll tell you what I think about this answer, Anahita. Okay, here let me ask your classmates. So let's say that Anahita's got some beautiful pronunciation, some nice fluency. What do you think her score is for the natural scale? So how natural her English is. So if Anahita says, yes, I have acquired the skill to cook ashak, a vegetarian Afghani traditional dish, because I needed to learn its cooking method and to prepare them for my guests last year. What do you think the score would be for how natural this sounds? Meet says about a 9. Let's see what people say. Peer evaluation, everybody. Peer evaluation is a great way to advance. Azat says 7-ish. Lamo Box says about 6.5. Sidra says about 7.75. Sidra, it's pretty good. Pretty good estimate. I'd go about a 7.5. Okay, let me explain why. So, yes, I have acquired the skill to cook ashak, a traditional vegetarian Afghani dish. So the order of this word, traditional, is out of place. And that makes it sound a little bit less natural because I needed to learn its cooking method. Okay? Because I needed to something like master it. Master it. So I could prepare it for my guests last year. So that would be the more natural way, Anahita, to express this. Yes, I have acquired the skill to cook ashak, a traditional vegetarian Afghani dish, because I needed to master it so I could prepare this for my guests last year. Okay, so it's not terrible. It does make sense, but it's slightly unnatural because of the word choice and the word order. So the word order here is a bit off, and the word choice here is a bit off. Okay, let me ask you this then. What would the score be for this for complexity? So how complex this is. What do you think? So natural, I would say it's good. Okay, it's good. It's maybe not very good, so I might take that 5 away. So it's good. For how complex it is, Izat says 6. I would say it's about maybe an 8. She's using the present perfect accurately. Yes, I have. I have acquired the skill to cook ashak because, so cause and effect, present perfect. It's quite good. Okay, so it's quite good. I would say I would actually say it's very good. So for complexity, it's an 8. So natural 7, complexity 8. How about coherence? So what do you think? How coherent is this language? Okay, so how coherent is Anahita's response? So 7, 8. What about the coherence? So how well we understand it? Okay, a lot of you are saying 7. Some of you are saying 7.5. I would actually give it a 6 if I'm your examiner for coherence. So I would say it's okay. I wouldn't call it necessarily good. I would call it okay. I might call it good on a different day, but I would go 6. Students, it's often the coherence where people are losing their marks, and this isn't English only, it's communication. Remember, IELTS is a proficiency exam. When they're looking for expert users, they're looking for people who are professional, lawyer, doctor, and other businessmen, businesswomen who are professionals that are very, 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 very good at communication. Not just English, but very, very, very good at communication. So your coherence score to get a 7, 8, 9 has to be really, 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 really good. Why am I giving Anahita such a low score for coherence here? So why would I only say that overall this is like a 7 to maybe a 7.5? Why is Anahita losing so much for coherence? Exactly. So notice what V says. Okay. V says this, Anahita. V's question to you, if you were sitting with him in a coffee shop, would be like, what does this dish look or taste like? How do you do it? What do you think about it? So have you learned to make any special dishes, right? I get it. Ashak is a special vegetarian Afghani dish, but what is it? Is it made of, what's the main ingredient? Is it tomatoes? Is it potatoes? Is it carrots? Do you cook it? Do you bake it? Do you fry it? Does it taste sweet? Is it sour? Is it tart? So other than having an idea of where it comes from and the fact that it's vegetarian, I have very little conceptual understanding of this dish. I would literally have to Google it. I would have to go onto Google and say Ashak, Afghani dish, and then go, oh, okay, that's what it looks like. Oh, okay, that's what it tastes like. From your answer, Anahita, I have very little understanding of this dish. Okay? Yes, exactly. See, Alexander says this as well. There's just absolutely no feeling of the dish. Okay? Students, one of the most important tips I will give you, all right? The examiner does not know what you know. You have to explain it to them very clearly. Okay? So, you must focus on coherency. Okay? So, incoherent answers can really drop your scores. I had a really sad email from a candidate the other week where they're like, I watched a video on YouTube and they told me to just keep my answers really simple, and I got the worst score ever on my IELTS speaking. Yeah, I'm sure I think they got like 6 or a 5.5, and before that they got a 7. And the reason why is because their coherence mark just plummeted. It collapsed with those simple answers. Okay. All right. So you really need to pay attention to that. Deadshot says, my IELTS exam is tomorrow. It's computer based. I have a doubt about reading and listening. Deadshot, once you start the audio, it does not stop. So you do push a button that you can hear the audio correctly. It will test to make sure you're hearing the audio. As soon as you confirm that you can hear the audio correctly, then it will start. Use Test Glider so students who are like Deadshot, on our website at aehelp.com, in your My Student account, if you go to our partner, one of our partners, Test Glider, and you try the free computer-based exam, this computer-based exam is exactly the same, Deadshot, that you will have tomorrow. So when you do that listening, that's what you will experience in the real exams. That's how it will work, okay? There's a couple videos from last week that explain that from us on YouTube as well. All right. Okay, so we'll come to our website here in just a minute to practice some speaking. Let's take a look at Sonia's answer real quick. Okay. So, yep, the tab button can save you time. You don't have to click your mouse as much, Alexander. Absolutely. Okay, so have you learned to make any special dishes? Sonia says, of course, I acquired the skill of preparing chicken biryani from my mother. It was a week ago. I prepared chicken biryani and everybody praised me for making such a mouth-watering dish. It is a stovetop meal with some traditional Indian spices, usually curcuma, I think, and it is eaten most commonly with a side of rice. Okay, Sonia, same as Anahita. You're missing the dish, what the dish actually is. So I acquired the skill of preparing chicken biryani from my mother. It was a week ago. I prepared it and everybody praised me for this mouth-watering dish. It's a stovetop meal with some traditional Indian spices, usually curcuma, and is eaten most commonly with a side of rice. Okay. All right. Meat. I'm in Canada. Okay. Sonia, you're very, very welcome. All right. So, students, let's practice the speaking with our students. You can do this through our websites. Let's do it together. So you need to go to aehelp.com and then on aehelp.com, go to your My Student account. You can make one for free. Okay. And then once you have a student account, go to your student partner speaking. Okay. Enable your microphone. I tested the system. It does work, but in case we have any issues, any conflicts with YouTube or the streaming software, we can also try a Zoom alternative. I will share that link here at the bottom just in case in a moment. Okay, but first let's go to the website. So this is aehelp.com. glshelp.com does this too, so it uses the same interface. Excuse me. It uses the same interface, and you can log in there as well. So again, this is aehelp.com. Okay, the link is in the chat. You go to your My Student account. In your My Student account, you have this feature here, the Student Partner Speaking. Okay, you've got so many tools here, everybody. You've got computer-based practice exams, full interactive course. You have more than 120 speaking interview lessons in the premium version. Look at that. Ooh, all of these are example full speaking interview lessons. So check that out. Anyway, and so right now we're using the Student Partner Speaking. In the Student Partner Speaking, you will see your fellow classmates. Aisan, Deborah, Azat, Kenjayeva. Nice to see you back in the class. Nikita and Murtazo. Now, more and more of you are joining in, which is great. You will see me in here. I will be in here as master. So you'll see me in here as master, all big letters, and then the blue envelope next to my name is what you can click to speak with me. So Deborah has done so. Deborah, let's see if you're there. So Deborah, are you ready? I'm going to always send you a quick message to make sure we can establish a connection. Students, make sure you enable the features of the website in your browser. There's also some new browser changes going on internationally that are having, you need to like enable your cookies and all that for some websites again. So Deborah, if you're ready, yes, you can be my first volunteer. You just need to say yes, and so I can see you respond. Amazing. Yeah, you can use gonna in the speaking. Amazing in the meantime is asking, can I use gonna like for going to gonna? I'm gonna visit Canada next year. You can just make sure you don't use it in writing. In speaking it's okay, but not in the writing. Hi, Deborah. Can you hear me? I don't hear you. It's quiet for me, Deborah. So it seems to me, especially with the speed that I got your response at, that your internet might be a bit slow today. So you need to check that, okay? Students, you need more internet speed for this. Azat, yes, you can. Are you ready? Again, like I said, students, we'll try a few students. If it doesn't... if we're having troubles with it, then we'll just switch to a Zoom and I'll show you how that works. Okay, let's try Azat first, though. I want to try a couple people before I switch to a different platform. Azat? IMS, the people that you see in purple, they're premium users, but not everybody here is a premium user. I can't hear Azat, so I'll try Kenjayeva. It's going to be a little bit quicker switching through people here to see who it works for and who it doesn't. Kenjayeva, are you ready? Different students, you can try making connections with your peers as well. Some countries work better than others with each other. Kenjayeva, I don't hear you either this time, so I'm just gonna switch through and maybe try Anahita, who's also here in Canada with me. And like I say, don't go far, Deborah, Kenjayeva, because in a moment, if this doesn't work with anybody, then I'll share the Zoom link with you, okay? Okay, I'll try one more. I'll try Maya, and then if it doesn't work with Maya, then I'll share a Zoom link and we'll do it through Zoom, okay? So Maya, are you ready? the website is more designed for one-on-one communication here in the student chat, not for these live classes. Just keep that in mind. I don't think I can hear you either, Maya, so I think the system is being overcrowded. But that's okay. I'll share, like I said, the Zoom link. So I'll put a Zoom link in for everybody. And this will be more like... I can't use my camera in Zoom, but that's fine. So check out the Zoom link that I just shared with you, and then we'll do the questions through Zoom, and hopefully I can connect through Zoom here. Yeah. Okay. There we go. So join in through Zoom, and I can see more and more people are joining in now, which is fantastic. Let me just cycle through here. Okay. By the way, as we're waiting for everybody to join into Zoom, usually on Sundays and Wednesdays, we have Zoom classes for our premium users. Our next Zoom class is actually on Tuesday, the 16th this time. So let's do this. Let's admit everybody. And then I'm just going to mute everyone for now. Okay, so right now I'm just letting everybody into Zoom. I can see there are lots and lots of people joining in, which is fantastic. Alexander, there's Maya. Okay. And again, I'm just going to mute everyone here. Okay, in Zoom, everybody, the easiest way to volunteer is to raise your hand. So in your controls, you have the reactions. Okay, and then in the reactions, they're here, you can raise your hand. Okay, so I can see that Izat has their hand up. Let's talk to Izat. Izat, you can unmute yourself and we can chat a little bit.
Hello, Mr. Adrian. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. I hope everybody else can hear Izat also. Okay, Izat, before we jump into these speaking questions, can you just tell everybody what country you're in and why you're taking the IELTS?
My name is Izad. I'm from Uzbekistan, and I'm taking an IELTS test for my master's degree. I want to pursue further education in my own country, and it's required to have IELTS certificate for that purpose.
That is an excellent answer. Okay, that's the kind of natural, complex, coherent answer the examiner is looking for to give you those high scores. So keep going the same way. Are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's do it. Welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner. May I see your identification?
Yeah, here's my passport that I use for registration. Please take a look.
What is your full name?
My first name is Izat Hoca, and my surname is Kadir Hoca. Please call me Izat.
Okay, Izat. For part one, I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic. What do you like about your home?
I like its location. It's located in a suburban area, and which has a lot of farms near, and also it has beautiful view in the morning.
Let's talk about food. How often do you make a sandwich?
Quite often, at least 2 times a day. One before going to the university, and the next one after having a lunch before I leave home for work.
Okay, I'm going to stop there and give you some feedback.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So your band score, just very directly, your overall band score, would be about a band 7. Your introduction's great. There's no problems there. So when you give me your passport, give me your name. That's perfect. That's fine. Okay. When I got into some of the more detailed questions, there were some incongruencies or parts of your answer that confused me a little bit. Okay. So Izat, for sure, really, really pay attention to your content, okay, and make sure that it's sensible, it's coherent, it's logical. Let me explain to you what I mean. When I asked you, what do you like about your home? You said, I like its location. It's located in a suburban area, which has a lot of farms nearby. It should be nearby. There were just some small grammatical mistakes here and there with word form or missing elements, which was not a big deal. I mean, I think it costs you a band score, but not a big deal. Here, I was confused about the location of your home. So first of all, I'm not really sure, like you said Uzbekistan, but I'm not really sure which city or which suburban area. More importantly, if you're in a farm area, then it's a rural area. So farms are not considered suburban, they're considered rural. Okay. And it's possible that you're in a suburban area with farms that are nearby, but then you have to explain that to me so that I'm not confused of whether you're in a suburban area or you're in a rural area. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. So it goes like this, right? It goes urban, which is like city. Okay. Then it goes suburban, which is under city, right? Suburban, right? So outside of city. So that's usually where you have houses with little yards and such. And then once you go further out into the farm areas, then it goes rural, right? So farmland or agriculture. So that made a little bit of confusion in my head, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm not understanding you clearly, or you're not explaining it to me clearly, but something is not right. Okay, so that's kind of what's going on in my head. And guess what? Because I'm the examiner, you're the one losing marks, not me for not understanding, right? So you have to make sure that I understand. And so that was one point there. When I asked you how often you make a sandwich, you said quite often, once in the morning for university, that was fine. And then you said one after lunch before I leave for work. And so for this answer, is that what I'm thinking is, okay, you made yourself a sandwich for university. You went to university, you ate the sandwich for lunch, and then you made a sandwich at university right after lunch for your work. So I'm confused. Like, what's happening there? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean after lunch? Like, you bought some cheese and bread at the university, or how is this working for us?
No, another one was made right before I leave home in the morning. Just sorry, not in the morning, like after I arrived from university, I make another one for my work.
That makes
lunch,
sense. Okay.
At home. Yeah.
That makes sense. Now lunchtime, everybody, in the English language usually means around noon. So you have breakfast in the morning around, let's say 7. Then you have lunch anywhere between 11 and 1. Dinner is usually around 3. Supper is around 6. It's a little bit different in different cultures, right? Because a lot of cultures, you eat the main meal earlier in the day. In some Western cultures like Canada, US, UK, they eat the big meal at around 5, 6, and they call it supper. So you have to be really clear in your communication. Yeah, so if you say I make the second sandwich after I get back from university, that makes sense. But when you said after lunch, I was like, that's really weird. Like, you eat a sandwich for lunch and then you make one right away after, right? So you see, so you're losing those coherence marks. And that's what I mean, everyone. You really have to pay attention to that, right? Because that'll cost you, of course. So Izat, coherence, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's try one repetition. So I often make a sandwich once in the morning for university for lunch, usually a cheese and ham sandwich. And then I make another sandwich after I get home for work, That's usually a bit bigger, and it's with cheese and beef and lots of tomatoes. Try it.
Okay.
Just
But
you don't. It
honestly,
doesn't have to be the same. It doesn't have to be the same as what I just said.
okay,
It's the
more
content.
coherent.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I make actually two sandwiches. One in the morning before I leave home for my for university, and another one when I get back home after university before going to work. I prepare another one, and I usually make it of lettuce, bread, cheese, and the jam, and yeah,
It's delicious.
it's delicious. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, is that much better? Okay, even though you were a little bit slower, this is what I said at the beginning of the class, right? So balance accuracy with speed. So even though you were a little bit slower, you had to think a bit more, it was way more coherent. So I would give you a better mark for that answer. Okay. All right, so very good. So Izzat, coherence, coherence, coherence. Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much for volunteering.
Thank you for helping me.
You're most welcome. Talk to you again soon. Izzat, make sure you join the premium Zoom class. You're a premium student, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so join the if you can join the, because I haven't seen you in the premium Zoom classes on Wednesdays and Sundays, so make sure to join them. We have these kinds of interactions all the time, and we use our cameras. I can't use the cameras in this class because I'm using it for YouTube, but in the premium student class on the when we do them on Wednesdays, I do, and we use the cameras. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So hopefully I'll see you there. You're welcome. Bye.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye. All right, that was Izzat. Very good. Kenjayeva, you can unmute yourself as well. I see you there. And lots of thumbs up. I see lots of hands up, everybody. See, we're using Zoom here. I put the link into the chat here, everybody, so you can join. I see Anahita's in the waiting room as well. Kenjayeva, I see that you're unmuted, I think. Hi, Kenjayeva. Kenjayeva, I think your connection's a little bit sensitive, but let's try, okay? Kenjayeva, I think you have to check your connection because I can't really hear you clearly. If you have any other programs open that could be using up your internet, definitely close those. You might even want to close YouTube for now. Okay. And then try. Okay. Kenjayeva, I'm just going to mute you and then see what you can do on the technical side because I definitely don't hear you well there. Okay. All right. Maya, can you unmute yourself?
Hi, Adrian.
How are you, Maya?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm quite good as well. Thank you for asking, Maya. All right. Where there is a will, there is a way. Right, Maya?
There is a will, there is a way.
Yeah. Have you heard this expression in English? Where there is a will, where there is a will, there is a way.
No, I've never heard that. I can understand the meaning.
Yeah, it's a very nice expression. It means when you want to do something, you can find the way to do it.
The way.
Exactly. And that's what we're doing with Zoom here because I know that we didn't connect on the website a moment ago. Maya, could you just tell everybody where you are and what your ambitions are with English?
Currently, I'm in Turkey and I'm learning English to continue my education in USA. And I need IELTS for that purpose.
Yeah, it's kind of the way it goes today. And when do you hope to go to the US? What's your date? What's your goal? What's your timeline?
The goal is next year. I'm currently applying to several universities, and I have to take IELTS end of this month. I don't know. We'll see.
You'll do great. You'll do great. All
Thank
right.
you.
Let's talk about making food.
hmm
Do you like to cook?
Well, no, I'm not fascinated by cooking, but I do cook and I do bake because I don't like eat outside. Usually, I prepare my food at home by myself.
What is your favorite ingredient?
My favorite ingredient is onion because in my culture, all of the traditional dishes include onion. Sorry, onion. And I don't know any dish without onion, to be honest. So it's onion.
Okay, let me give you a bit of feedback, and we'll practice. We'll upgrade these answers. Okay. All right. I kind of got what you said. I didn't get it exactly transcribed, but that's fine. Okay, so I asked you two questions here. First one was, do you like to cook? You said, well, no, I'm not fascinated by cooking. Okay. On a score of natural there, I would say, Maya, that it's about a 6. It's not even if I'm saying I don't like it, it's not the most common way to say it. Like, I'm not fascinated. It's not completely wrong. And you could hear a native speaker say it, but it would be rare to hear it expressed this way. Like, I'm not fascinated by cooking. What do you think might be a more common way that you would hear this in simple, natural English? The no answer here.
I'm not a fan of cooking.
I'm not a fan of cooking is more common. Yeah. No, I'm not a big fan of cooking.
I'm not into cooking.
Yeah, that would be a very common way. That would probably be your top answer. I'm not really into cooking. Yeah. So no, I'm not a big fan of cooking is okay. It's better than fascinated by, but definitely no, I'm not really into cooking. But I do cook and bake because I don't like to eat outside. Because I don't like to eat outside is definitely like more like a band 5 for natural English. It's a bit awkward. When we drop to a band 5 or a 4, it means that it makes sense, but you would almost never hear an expert user of English say it that way, or a very good user of English say it that way. So there's a bit of you need to change the word form a bit there. What do you think is the correct way to say that, Maya? But I do cook and bake because I don't like to eat outside. How should you change that? Just it's a little change, but it's so important to make it actually sound natural and coherent. What do you think it is, Maya?
I don't know, to eat out.
Can you say it one more time, the full sentence? But I do cook and bake because I don't like to
Eat. I should change with the word outside.
Yes. Yes, we don't say outside. So I don't like to eat
out.
Exactly. Yeah, eat out,
Yeah.
or I don't like to go out to eat, if you want to really spell it out.
I don't like go out to eat. Okay.
If you say that I don't like to eat outside, do you know what you're actually telling me, Maya?
What I'm telling.
You're telling me that you like eat outside, like not indoors, not in a restaurant or in a dining room, but that you're actually like sitting on a patio or having a picnic, and you're telling me that you don't like to eat on the outdoors, like in the open nature, right? So I'm kind of like, okay. So yeah, unfortunately, sometimes even those little mistakes, little misuse of a word or word form will just make it weird for the, and a lot of expert users of English will be very polite and they just kind of smile and they never correct you. This is where, for instance, ChatGPT is super useful, because ChatGPT, if you ask, like, tell me what my mistakes are and why, then it will say your use of the word outside here means that you're going out to eat in a park or somewhere else, right? So And then you said, I usually cook inside. Same. I usually cook at home. So,
Okay.
as opposed to like cooking outside, like on a barbecue, right? So we'd have a good laugh about this if you're visiting me and we had this chat. But then you'd learn. Now you learn it forever, right, Maya? So
Right.
that's the good news. Okay. So what is your favorite ingredient? Okay. Well, you know what? Let me not race. I think the coffee's getting to me a little bit here. Let's try the correct sentence, everybody. Here we go. Do you like to cook? No, I'm not really into cooking, but I do cook and bake at home because I don't like to go out to eat. I usually cook at home because it's cheaper and healthier.
I should repeat.
Do you like to cook?
Okay,
Maya? Yes.
No, I'm not really into cooking, but I do cook and bake because I don't like go out to eat.
I don't like to go out to eat.
I don't like to go out to eat. I usually prepare my food at home because it's cheaper and healthier. Cheaper and healthier.
Much better. And you just keep repeating until you get that perfect, fluent, natural, complex sentence, okay? Maya, you're right in that gap between good English and very good English. And you will make that transition. You just have to put in the work. And I know you're busy. I know you've got a lot on your plate, but you just have to put in that time, right? So the efficiency.
Yes.
Your next answer about the onion. I liked it. I like onion. My favorite ingredient is onion. Sure. White onion, purple onion, chives,
White.
baby onions,
White.
any kind
White
of onion. White onion.
White.
Okay. All right.
I don't know much.
I don't know
Okay.
what kind of onion you like to cook with. I actually prefer purple onion myself, or red onion, but
No, I cook with white onion.
white onion. Okay, I like red onion. But anyway, so my favorite ingredient is white onion. Those little details can really help, like, you know, the clearer the image in the examiner's head, the better it is. So my favorite ingredient is white onion because in my culture, Maya, you're in Turkey, I get that, but you're originally from...
Turkmenistan.
Right. And is onion referring to your culture of origin or to Turkish culture?
Can you repeat?
So
I couldn't get that.
so the onion, which culture is it connected to? Both or one?
No, to my origin country.
So you have to tell us that, right? We don't know that, especially if you're in Turkey. Then we're thinking, oh, really, Turkish? I know that Turkish people like onion too, but I didn't realize.
Yeah, Turkish dishes as well. Yeah.
Right. But I did.
I cook both dishes, Turkish
Right.
meal and.
So this is kind of the same advice here as with Izzat, is coherence, right? So let me try that one more time. Be more specific, okay? So what is your favorite ingredient?
My favorite ingredient is white onion, because in my country, which is Turkmenistan.
Name the country and then the culture, because in Turkmenistan culture, most
Because
dishes.
in Turkmenistan culture, I say all dishes include onion. I don't know any dish without onion. Onion.
Okay. Great. Much better. More specific. Now I have clarity. Okay. So focus on those aspects. Make that transition from good to very good. And then once you're in the US, you'll make the transition from very good to expert English. Okay.
Okay. Erin, what do you think? Can I get at least 6.5?
Yes. No problem. So I think even with your current English right now, you'll get a 6.5 for sure. However, Maya, your goal should not be a 6.5. Your goal should be at least a 7.5. Okay. So.
Oh, my goal is 9.
Well, goal should be yes. Reach for the stars, as we say. Reach for the stars.
Okay.
That's the expression in English, is reach for the stars, and I'm a firm believer in that. So reach for the stars. You never know. Right?
Yes.
So reach for the stars. Absolutely. if we want to be objectively realistic, I think that your current level for most examiners, they would score you probably around a band 7 to maybe 7.5. If you really put in the work, you might score as high as 8.5 within the next month, because you said your exam is within a month or so, right?
Yes, end of this month.
Yeah.
No, end of this month.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're going for graduate studies in the US, right?
Yes. I'm trying to transfer.
Yeah, you're transferring. Yeah, and if you're starting a bachelor's, everybody, in US or Canada, a 6.5 is the absolute minimum that you need. If you're doing graduate school, then you're much more competitive. Your application isn't just the minimum requirement, but you're also competing for seats. So you're competing against other people with IELTS scores and grades and experience. So you're always trying to maximize, even though the graduate school, Maya, might say, minimum 7. If you have 20 other applicants who have 8 on their IELTS, that's going to have an advantage, right? So you're always going higher. Graduate school is competitive, right? Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, and I know you can do great, Maya, so just keep coming to class, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Maya.
Adrian.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
All right, that was really good. Let's try Deborah. I know Deborah was the first out of the gates. Alexander Murtazo, hang in there. Deborah.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you too?
I am also doing fantastic. All right. Deborah, you had a question there at the end of our premium class yesterday. Do you remember what that question was in that writing task 2 class?
Yes, sir.
What was it?
So my question was that, does it mean when you get a question during the writing task about good advantages outweigh the disadvantage, must you only talk about one side or both sides?
Depends on the question. Some questions ask you to discuss both. In that case, you have to discuss both. Sometimes the question asks you which is more, the benefits or the negatives. In those situations, you have to focus more on one side, the side that you choose. So pay careful attention to the question, okay?
So if I understand you clearly, you said if you are asked to discuss both views, it means you have to talk about both sides.
Yes.
But when they ask you, do the advantage outweigh the disadvantage, you have to take one side and discuss it, right?
You have to, yes. So one has to have more focus, the majority of the
That's
writing.
it. Yeah, yesterday's task was we were asked to discuss both, but we only spoke about one side.
No, remember in that second body paragraph, we said, although there are some benefits to handwriting like creativity, the advantages are much more. So we did have just one sentence that talked about the advantages of handwriting. And then the rest of the body paragraph focused on how touch typing is better overall. Remember? So little bit on one side, majority on the other side. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Deborah, let's jump into a question. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. What is your favorite ingredient?
My best ingredient is onion, because that is the only ingredient when I add to my stew, doesn't give me diarrhea. Any other spice that I add, it gives me diarrhea. And for that matter, I've stopped using any other spice apart from onion.
You might get a smile out of your examiner for that. Diarrhea is when we have very liquid stool, to put it politely. And some people are sensitive to ingredients. Now, it's kind of a very open answer to give to your examiner, but your examiner is not there to judge you. And you know what? If that's your answer, that's totally fine. You still have to express it very clearly and coherently. So best ingredient's a little bit awkward, Deborah. I would say my favorite ingredient is onion, because it's the only ingredient that doesn't give me diarrhea. I wouldn't say ingredient. I would say only spice or flavorful ingredient. Spice.
Okay.
Or flavorful ingredient. Okay, and then that makes sense. All right, that, and try not to repeat words. Aside from that, other ingredients are like, or other spices are a, and Deborah, you're in medicine, and I'm always open to, you know, teaching some of those medical terms in English as well. A lot of our students are nurses or practicing doctors and so on. So the food that makes our stool soft or runny, it has a special name. It starts with an L. So do you know what it's called? For example, plums or prunes will make our stool softer. They're called, they have a name. They start with an L. Do you know what it is?
Oh, I have no idea.
Laxatives. Okay, they're called laxatives. Aside from that, other
Okay,
spices are
laxative.
laxatives for me.
Yeah.
I don't like using them. Okay, so it's good words to know. You know, some students might think it's funny and so on, but life is life. We're all human. We function on our biological form, and it's good to know these words because if you're traveling the world, these can be situations, and you need to know them. So if you're in another country traveling and you just ate some food and you're having tummy troubles, okay, they're called tummy troubles.
I think pegative is also part.
Sorry, what was that, Deborah? A little bit slower.
Pegative. Pegative.
I haven't heard that. Maybe not in common use as much in my neck of the woods anyway. But anyway, here's the sentence, Deborah. So repeat after me. My favorite ingredient is onion because that is the only spice or flavorful ingredient that doesn't give me diarrhea. Aside from that, other spices are a laxative for me and I don't like using them.
My favorite ingredient is onion because that's the only spice that doesn't give me laxative every time I take them.
Almost doesn't give me diarrhea. Aside from that, other spices are a laxative for me and I don't like using them.
That's the only ingredient that doesn't give me diarrhea. Apart from that,
other spices are laxative and I don't like using them.
Other spices are laxative and I don't like using them.
Okay. Good, Deborah, good. Yeah, when you have tummy troubles, you have to be careful. Deborah, thank you for volunteering and thank you for your questions.
Okay. Have a nice day.
You too. Bye, Deborah. All right. That was Deborah. Let's take one more. One last one. We're kind of running out of time, but Alexander, can you chime in?
Hello.
How are you, Alexander?
As good as can be.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's always. It always means that when a person says that, it means they're optimistic. And ultimately, Alexander, when there's darkness, you have to fight it the only way you can, which is with light, right? So,
Sure.
optimism.
So we should see light at the end of a tunnel.
We have to, otherwise we're consumed in darkness, right? Okay, let's jump in. Alexander, I have a feeling you're a foodie. You like some tasty food, right?
Of course, unfortunately, yes.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. No, it has some healthy drawback. Right?
Well, I mean, the trick, Alexander, is just eat less, exercise more, right?
Yeah, in Soviet time, it was very famous advice how to get more milk from a cow. You should get less food to them, but try to get more milk physically. So it's easy to say, but
that's
so
life. Not so easy to do. Yeah.
Right.
The correct expression, everybody, is it's easier said than done.
Right.
Try that, Alexander. It's easier said than done.
It's easier said than done.
It's
But
easier said than done.
fortunately, nowadays we have so many theories and real advices. So even I can even one day maybe teach people how to lose weight.
There you go.
Very professionally.
Alexander the dietitian. All right. Okay, Alexander, let's talk a little bit more about food. Everybody listen up. This is the last question. It's a conditional. Here we go. Alexander, you ready?
Yeah, certainly, gladly.
If you could learn to make any dish, what would it be?
Well, so it's a fundamental question for me. I need some minute to think. Probably, I would prefer to make some to be able to make some baking, especially some Easter cake or something like this, which I have not tried yet, have not learned to do it yet. But it's first point which appeared in my mind in answer to your question.
Okay. So Alexander, in this case, instead of writing down what you just said, I wrote down what I would say if I were you and I had the same thoughts.
Yeah.
So this is what I would say. Well, so it's a fundamental question for me because I love to cook. I need a minute to think. Given the chance, I would prefer to master a baked dish like an Easter cake. Why an Easter cake? What is an Easter cake? So why would you? Because it is it delicious? I'm guessing it's delicious. Does it look good?
Maybe because the Easter just just happened recently, and I had to purchase it, and it was too big, not so tasty, I guess. One of my grandma baked it very nice, so unfortunately I have not received knowledge how to do it. Maybe that's why I'm answered yet.
Now we're into your mind. Mind, Alexander. Okay, so this is your band 9 answer here. Well, so it's a fundamental question for me because I love to cook. I need a minute to think. Given the chance, I would prefer to master a baked dish like an Easter cake because we just had Easter and I purchased it rather than impressing my guests and family with my own masterpiece.
Oh, great.
Try that one, Alexander. It's on the screen.
On the screen, but I'm watching it through Zoom. Okay, but try to from listening.
I'll do it one more time. I'll say it one more time in this case, okay? Well, so it's a fundamental question for me because I love to cook. I need a minute to think. Given the chance, I would prefer to master a baked dish like an Easter cake because we just had Easter and I purchased it rather than impressing my guests and family with my own masterpiece.
Well, it's a fundamental question. Please give me a minute to think. So, what came into my mind that I'd like to cook a Easter cake because we just passed Easter, but I purchased prepared Easter cake which were not good enough, but I'd like to impress my friends and relatives with my masterpiece of Easter cake.
Okay,
Like
much better. The coherence was much better. Still some grammatical mistakes here and there, but review the video. So the YouTube video will be up and ready right after class. So you can just review the end of the class and then you'll see it. Okay.
Yeah.
And hopefully one day when we meet, Alexander, I'll be eating your Easter cake, right?
I do. Looking forward to for this.
To serving me a slice of your Easter cake. Thank you so much, Alexander.
Anyway, as we say here, Easter is inevitable anyway.
Right? Exactly. So, something to look forward to. Thank you, Alexander. Have an awesome rest of the day.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Have a nice day as well. Thank you. Bye.
All right, let's give Alexander a big thumbs up there. That was great. Students, we are well over time. Usually the classes are 90 minutes, but you know what? When we're having fun, time flies. And certainly it's always a joy with Alexander, Ariadna serving up some pie in the chat, as we can see. Students, so right now we use Zoom. We use Zoom for these interactions. And again, those students who are premium students on the website get 2 Zoom classes each week included with their course. So if you think, hey, this is great, I'd love to participate in some speaking sessions, writing, reading sessions like this, then visit us at aehelp.com or gieltshelp.com. Join our premium course. It includes lots of exams, videos, content, and 2 premium Zoom classes each and every week. So definitely make sure to visit aehelp.com. It looks like this. And click the big red button to join. Tomorrow I am back with task 2 and reading, and we might use some more Zoom for that. We'll see how the website behaves tomorrow, but maybe we'll use some Zoom for that. GIELTS also like this. Okay, gieltshelp.com. It's the red button there. Have an awesome rest of your day, everybody. Good night to those of you who are in other time zones where it's late in your country. You're all brilliant, beautiful people. Stay positive so that we can fight the negative in the world with positive energy. I'm Adrian. I look forward to having you in class. Bye for now, everybody.